So, a gun box with a sleeve on it. Some of you might be familiar with these. I am not, because this is my first time handling a Steyr. And that's the way it's pronounced, Steyr Mannlicher in German. I lived over there for so long, I'm sorry folks, I'm going to have to say Steyr. So if you catch me saying that, don't complain, that's just the way it is. Here's the box. I love the line, count on it, it's a good tagline. It's a lockable box with a sliding entrance. Quite pry resistant. I'd say some airlines might be okay with this. I'm not an official, don't take my word for it. We'll take a look at this gun coming up next on GBGuns. So, Steyr is the other Austrian polymer pistol maker. More known for the AUG or AUG rifle, I think, than their pistols, but they have some cool features, I think, that beat their other Austrian friends, or neighbors, if you will. So what we're looking at here is the S model, a subcompact. It's a shorty. We've got our 2 magazines, 9+1, so 10 round capacity, although that spacer at the bottom makes you think that maybe more capacity is possible. In this box, and I love this, is our lock and keys. Actually a useful lock, right? You can use it to lock this case or for other things. And I know it's meant to be the security lock for the gun, but I'm sure many of you, like me, end up not using the trigger locks that are required by federal law. So nice that Steyr includes a useful lock. Up top we have our owner's manual, tucked behind the foam. Very nice die-cut foam. And you can see that this is specifically for the S model and shows the variants. Loaded chamber indicator window. Ooh, nice cutaway. And these are actual photos. Very clean print. All parts labeled in case you're new to it, which is a nice touch. And our specifications. For those of you that aren't patient enough to read it elsewhere, press pause now. Here's your chance. Okay, let's get the box out of the way and take a look at the Steyr S9A1. So you can see dimensions and all of that either by going back and hitting pause on there or check out the article. We're here just to look at the gun. They've always been an interest of mine. A friend of mine had a Steyr and I enjoyed shooting it, and just haven't had my hands on one since then. They're kind of neat. So we'll start off, of course, by showing clear. They do have a loaded chamber indicator witness window, but we'll first remove the mags. Kind of an unenthusiastic pop. Good for retaining magazines, not for kicking them out. And you can see in there that the chamber is clear. Start off looking at the front. We've got a big bull nose with a little bit of side-to-side wiggle, a little bit of to and fro. A single rail slot with the serial number pressed in to the polymer itself. Nice clean lines, kind of past futuristic, if you will. We have serrations on the front of the trigger guard here, which sways up for a little bit of relief. Somewhat rounded. Magazine release, you notice, lays flush with the grip, but sticks out forward. So your thumb, you can't activate it by bumping it. You have to reach forward to push it, which is nice. We also have this excellent relief cut here for the thumb to rest. And these indentations can work as memory points if you want to on grip. The finger grooves are also very generous. I have large hands and usually can't get my hands on a gun of this size, but you can see I can get a full 2.5 finger grip, which is just about as good as 3, quite comfortably. Slide release protrudes nicely for striking downward. Has a little ramp up to make it easy to push up on it, but it's obviously ramped for being able to activate that way. No serrations up front, however, the cuts for the markings here on the slide make for plenty of traction. Of course, the serrations in the back are much better. The back side has these interesting grooves and some serrations horizontally, which is correct for a gun that wants to rock with recoil. It's going to help grip against your hand. Also might notice we do have a gap here, which does give you a spot to grab and dig if you need to rip the mag out for anything. Probably also put a lanyard loop on there for military use. Looking at the back of the slide, nice tight fit. You notice the tang goes rather deep and high, which makes the slide look very slim and low. And one of my favorite parts about Steyr, those trapezoidal sights. They're so easy to line up. I'll wobble around here and bam, we're on target. It's that quick and easy to do. Rather interesting design. Small ledge for possibly catching off of a belt. I doubt it though. You'd need to use the front sight. The sights are metal. And coming around the right side of the gun, we have our takedown lever, and that's it. Looks like your magazine release is possibly reversible. Next, we'll field strip this thing and take a look inside the gun. Before we field strip, something that I didn't mention in looking at the box was you have these two keys that come with the gun. We can see the gun is clear, nothing in the magazine, nothing in the chamber. Over here, you have an integrated lock, and it's interesting. Key goes in, you push down and turn from fire to safe, and now the slide can still function, but the trigger's dead. Pushed in, turn it back up. Now we have our trigger back. So interesting feature there. Similar to some other gun makes have had it. I'm sure they did that for import reasons or maybe laws in Austria themselves, although Glock doesn't, so it's interesting. To field strip this guy, we drop the magazine. We know the gun's clear already. You're going to push in on this integrated lock, and with that in, the takedown lever swings down and the slide comes off. Pretty cool that this takedown lever cannot move down without pushing in on that integrated lock system. So for people that are worried about the rare chance of that being activated, it's not going to happen. So we can see that inside the polymer, we have a steel chassis system holding everything in place. Nice beefy rails, front and rear. The ejector sits very low. You can see just how low the operating of the gun is in hand, and I think that's partially because of how low they're able to set this recoil system. Our guide rod is steel, captured flat wire spring. Barrel drops down as normal. Nice polished feed ramp there. In fact, the chamber itself looks like it might be a bit polished. Let's check our fitment with our nozzler match. And we have a little bit of case exposed, but not much. Fairly well supported. Interesting, there's another Austrian gun and another gun that comes without full chamber support. If you're not sure why that's significant, without full chamber support, I don't recommend using reprocessed brass or overpressure loads. Just notice too, we have a little bit of a target crown on that barrel. How about that? A barrel this short and there's a target crown on it. That's a nice touch. Looking at slide manufacture, all very clean and sharp. And to the point. I'm looking forward to trying this guy out. I'll tell you, these sights are quick and fun. It's an interesting setup. It's sort of, well, it's rather intuitive. It makes you wonder why it never really caught on. Notice we tend to buck against things that are different. I want to show you that trigger too, which I didn't do earlier. We do have the blade for a safety. The trigger won't move without the blade depressed. Press blade comes to a wall and breaks. Very little over travel, if any. Reset is quiet and soft, but very short. This is going to be a fun gun to shoot. Of course, once we get it to the range, we'll be doing full mag +1, the what's for dinner test with a variety of different load weights, casing types, bullet shapes, and bullet types, and then field accuracy with 5 shots from 7 yards using that Nosler match. Gun feels great in the hand. This is definitely made for larger hands like myself. I don't know how smaller hands will handle it. Maybe I can find a small-handed volunteer to shoot with me when I go out, so we can get some feedback on that. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Steyr S9A1. These small double stacks are all the rage these days. The slide being thicker, or the gun being thicker or appearing thick up front, I think is really just an effect of how thin it is in the back here. It's a visual effect more than anything, I believe. We'll see. If you guys want to check out dimensions, of course, as always, go over to the article that this video was produced for. Thanks for watching.